What's good people, it's JayCactus back again with another tutorial, and in this video I'm going to be teaching you how to make melodies. But first of all, I just wanted to give a massive shout out to everyone that copped the Pop Smoke loop kit so far, and the drum kit as well, because everyone's been showing mad love with those two. So the ones that I dropped before these were completely free, and these are my first two paid kits, because you know I can't give everything away for free. But the good news is that I am going to drop another free kit when I reach 5k subscribers. So let me know what you want in the comments. Do you want drum sounds? Do you want drum loops, melody loops, maybe a little mixture of them all? I don't know, let me know. But if you do want to check out the Pop Smoke loop kit, then the link is in the description. Or if you just want to make your own melodies, then I'm going to show you a few tips and techniques in this video. So let's get into it. Alright, so for this tutorial, I'm not going to go too in depth in music theory and chord progressions. If you haven't seen it already, then check out my beginner's guide to drill melodies, because I talk a lot about music theory in that one. But if you are just getting started, and if you haven't really trained your ear to just go by ear when you're playing stuff, then what I'd recommend doing is starting by picking a scale. So come to the arrow here, click helpers, scale highlighting, and then pick a scale. So for things like drill and trap, then I'd go with a minor scale. If you want it to sound sadder, if you want it to sound a bit more happy, then go with a major scale. But obviously drill tends to be quite sad, so go with a minor scale. So in this one, I'm going to be clicking on B minor. I've already got it highlighted. And then the first thing that I do is start with a chord progression. So I'm just going to start by drawing in a B minor chord. So to get any minor chord, you just follow this pattern. So you start on one note and then go up 3, 1, 2, 3, and then up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That works with any note that you land on. So if I landed on G, you could follow the same thing, but it's going to start with a B minor chord. And then with drill melodies, I tend to find that the chord progression doesn't go like quite high up and then drop down low. Like there's not big gaps. So for example, if you're making a trap melody, you might come a bit higher up. But it's going to sound too joyful, so let's make it a bit darker. So an easy tip is just copy the chord across and then just move one note for now. And you can hear already it's going to start sounding like a drill melody, because they tend to be quite tight, quite repetitive, are quite simple as well. We're going to copy it across again. And to copy it, I'm just holding Control and then clicking and dragging, and then holding Shift, clicking and dragging, and that copies it. And then I can maybe bring these up just to see how it sounds. Alright, and then we could try one more, even bring it back to this one. So, sounding like a drill melody already. So if you look, the note B is playing all the way through, and I tend to find that a lot in drill melodies. Not just the note B, but there'll be like one note that's kind of playing consistently throughout. But from here, I don't want it to be so stiff, I want it to be a bit more adventurous. So instead of having it drop on each line like this, I'm going to bring it back a little bit. So I'm going to press C to activate the slice tool, bring this one down, and then I'm going to bring this one back. So now it's going to have a bit more rhythm. Could stretch that out a bit and then do the same with this one. So I'm going to cut that, bring this one back. So if I put the metronome on, you'll hear there's a little bit more of a bounce now. It's just a little bit more interesting. And then from here, instead of just adding loads of notes, what you could try to do is slice in some notes. So again, I'm going to press C and maybe slice this one here. And now it's going to play the note twice. Maybe slice. You could try slicing both of them. So just experiment at this stage, just slice different things, see what sounds good to you. So I'm just gonna actually slice this top one and maybe this bottom one. Right, now if I show you on EQ, you can see that we've kind of got the mid-range covered. The low mids and the mids. All this section here is kind of covered in the frequency spectrum now. So to make it more full, I definitely need some bass notes in there and some higher notes as well. So I'll start with the bass notes. So when it comes to bass, there's a couple of things you can do. So I like to start with the bottom note, so on B. And then maybe come down here when the chord changes. So if you're just getting started, just try different notes like I was doing then. Literally just drag it to each one until it sounds right. And you can also look at the notes that you're using in the chords as well. So you could try C sharp like I have done here, or you could go down to F sharp. So let's try this. See, I prefer that. Same up here, I'm using D and G, so let's come up to D. And then maybe back down to C sharp. This might work. Yeah, so I'm happy with that. And then at this stage, we definitely want a counter melody, but I'm just going to show you a different thing first. So if you press Control and A to highlight everything, I don't want them all on the same velocity because that's not very realistic. So to make it more human, you can press Alt and R to randomize the velocity and just bring this down a bit. If you bring it down, it's like the pianist is pressing the keys more lightly, and if you've got the velocity up, then it's going to be like they're fucking smashing the keys, so just keep it quite low. There's quite nice. And then press Alt and S to strum it, which means instead of them playing the chord at the same time, it's going to be like one after the other, but in a fast movement. So you can play with the time here. So I like that. So I'm going to click accept. Right, and then from here, let's say you've got a beat block and you just can't think of a counter melody. Nothing's coming in your head, you're clicking in notes, nothing's sounding right. There are some tips that you can use, some little tricks. And one that I like to use is this. So I'm going to highlight the chords, just the chords, not the bass. And then I'm going to hold Shift and click once. And that's copied it, and then I'm going to hold Control and up. If it lets me, there we go. So this has brought the chords up an octave, and I don't want the same chords to just play there, like exactly how they are. I'm going to use this trick, so I'm going to press Alt and A. Now this has made it into an arpeggiator, and what an arpeggiator does is basically turn something into a running pattern. So you can see that it's still the same notes, still the same chords, but it's broken them down into individual notes. So let me just play this now. See how instantly that's just giving you a nice counter melody. You can play with this as well. But I like it like this. I think I might turn these down a bit, so I've still got everything highlighted. I'm going to hold Alt and just use the mouse wheel, scroll down. And now it's quite subtle. And now if you take a look at the frequency spectrum, we've got those bass notes in, and I might even take these up another octave, just to spread it out a bit more. That's sounding nice now, and you can see we're covering a lot of the spectrum, which is good. If you wanted to, you could pick another instrument to create that arpeggiator, so you could grab, I don't know, like some strings or whatever you wanted, just something to complement that piano sound, and then instead of having the arpeggiator here, you could copy it into the other instrument, just to add some more variation. And then I'm going to layer this piano with a pad. So the pad that I've chosen is fizzy and clear. It's just a preset in Omnisphere. Right, but all I'm going to do is copy the chords from the piano, so I'm just going to hold Control, drag over, Control and C, and then go into the pad and paste it. But I'm going to bring the pad up an octave, again, just so it blends in, because you can see the notes behind, so I've kind of taken up this space and this space, and then I've got the arpeggiator right at the top, and then this pad is just going to fit nicely in between everything. But I'll probably only have that pad for the hook, and then because I've got the arpeggiator as well, I can just go back and forth between them all. So at the start of the verse I might have just the chords and the bass notes, and then the arpeggiator can come in, and then in the hook the strings can come in as well. I'm also going to add some RC20 to the piano, and then an EQ just to take out some lows. And then I like Isotope Vinyl, it's a free plugin. I tend to use this just for like an intro, just to take out some energy and then have it build back up. So it sounds a bit thin with vinyl on, but like I said, just use it for an intro or a bridge or something. And obviously you could try different effects like halftime in your melody as well. Try different presets to add different variations, but in this case I didn't really like the effect on the melody, so I'm going to leave it off. And then for the snare I can make it a little bit different because of the way that we chop the chord. A little bit different. For the hi-hat I'm keeping a bounce, but not the typical drill bounce, so I wanted to switch it up this time. But to make it more interesting without adding other notes, I'm going to put a delay on the hi-hat and you can get a real nice bounce with that. So have a listen to this now. Now it's sounding more drilly, but all I did was add a delay in it. And again, when you add in delay, you can create automations as well. So in some sections of the song, if you want it to slow down, you can turn the delay off. And then when it comes back up to the hook or something, you can add the delay. And then a second snare. Create more bounce. And then for the 808. Kind of following the melody. And then for the kick, again, I'm just kind of following the 808 pattern. And then a simple open hat pattern. Some are longer than the others. That just makes it a little bit more interesting. And then a vocal as well. I just have every other one. Right, so I didn't want to go into too much detail for the drums and everything. That's not what the video was for. I just wanted to show you those little melody techniques, but I'll mix the beat anyway, finish it off, and then I'll show you the outcome. Alright, so I've mixed the beat. As you can see, I've arranged everything. And like I was saying earlier, when it comes to automation, I've got Isotope Vinyl on in the intro, just to remove some of that energy. And then I've also automated the delay, just to add more movement to the hi-hat. So in some parts, the delay is going to be on, and the hi-hats are going to be bouncing all over the place, but then in some parts, it's going to drop back out as well. So you'll see what I mean. The other thing is, when I created the arpeggiator with the piano, I've put that in a separate pattern, so I've got more control. So then in one pattern, I've just got the chords for like the intro, and then further down the line, the arp is here, right? And then in the hook, we've got the pads as well. So I'll show you what it sounds like.
JayCactus.
That drops sick. And then the arp comes in here. So you can see how easy it was to create that counter melody, but it works perfectly. And this is where the delay comes off just for a little bit. So listen to the switch up. It's only subtle. The hi-hats are bouncing here, and then it comes off for a little bit. Back on. It just gives more life to the track. And now everything. I've also added, as you can see, these are open hats at the bottom. So it's just an open hat from our kit. And I've just layered that with the kick, so I don't know, it just makes it hit harder, because listen without, and then with. So I hope you enjoyed the video and I hope you were feeling the beat. I didn't want to go into too much detail and show you the full drum process because I wanted this video to just be about those little melody tricks. So if you're struggling with beat block, you know, if you can't really think of those counter melodies, then use tricks like these and you'll come up with something in no time. But if you like the video, please like it and subscribe to the channel. And also let me know in the comments what other videos you want to see as well. Do you want more drill beats, trap beats? Do you want music theory, sound design, anything you want? So let me know and I'll hook you up. I'll see you next time.